Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons for another just kind of, it's a late night. We got our very final thing, which, I mean, YouTube seems to be fine with, so, with what happened yesterday, so it's fine, it's good. Okay, so bear with me here. I was saying about how cool you'd look in something classic, so I actually went and pick this up for you. Is that weird? Probably a little. It's to your benefit. Enjoy. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna like it, Ed. Let's see. Tailcoat. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of tailcoats, if I'm honest. I mean, like, he's got the right idea, I suppose. But, like, I'm just not a big fan of tailcoats. It's just kind of how I am. Trying to think of, like, things to ramble about today. There is something I can ramble about. And that is specifically to do with Monster Hunter Wilds. So, they recently just did the first free title update, and part of that was, a bit of, like, performance tweaking to the game to try and make it run a little better for people. Yeah, this is feeling a lot like the, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet thing with me all over again, because my performance has been worse since their update. So that's fun. Not only have I been getting, in general, lower frame rates, but I'm also experiencing more crashing, which, hopefully, in the stream earlier when you guys are seeing this video, didn't come up that often. I'm really hoping. I'm gonna try doing everything I can on my end before that to get everything working, because, man, that's really annoying. And, like, I'm sure for some users it may work better now, but for me it doesn't. And I say it's Scarlet and Violet all over again, because I've basically made mention before, and I've seen other people who played exclusively Scarlet mentioning this. When they did their performance fixes, of which, playing Scarlet, I didn't see the need for, suddenly it was after that I started encountering performance issues. The game was running fine before that. There was a couple low frame rate areas. They were areas I was kind of expecting to be low frame rate and would expect in any console game to be low frame rate. They're basically areas with a lot of water and reflections and, you know, things that are in general not the easiest for a game to, you know, well, a console to render. So, like, I was expecting performance loss there, and yeah, that's where I got it. Then, like, they did their performance boosting, and again, I'm sure for some people, it like, for Violet players, it probably really helped, and then for Scarlet players, it kind of made the performance worse. I actually started noticing a lot of performance issues after their fix. Like, and then there was just never another one to address the issues that were created in Scarlet. Like, they could have just reverted those changes for Scarlet, and it would have been fine. But then they would have had to have maintained two different versions of the game, basically, even though they clearly already were. It's weird. Hello, Caroline. Peanut, make yourself comfy, Acorn. Let's chat. I like bacon pear cake. It's great with milk tea, but I always eat too much of it, Acorn. Since I'm the one baking the cakes, I can't resist. It's kind of a problem. I mean, yeah, that scans. It's partially why I don't bake that often. Other than just motivation issues of, like, I know I'm gonna eat way too much if I do. I've already been eating too much lately, so, like, Steven's out in her garden. Yo, Steven! Feeling psyched, you know? Yep, stop for a chat. Enjoying the evening, you know? Me too. Nights get me hyped. They do for me as well, except I'm, like, exhausted tonight, because I've been just kind of bleh all day. Like, I've been awake since about 7 this morning. So I've been awake basically 13 hours. Not terribly long to be awake. It feels like I've only been awake for like 5, maybe? Like, the rest of those hours, I don't know where they've gone. I don't remember them. I don't know what I was doing. They're just not here. And I just have an overwhelming sense of, well, feeling of just blah. Which tells me I've been just kind of depression scrolling the internet all day. I could probably look through my YouTube watch history and get reminded of things I've done today, but even that, I imagine, isn't gonna be the most reliable what did I do today, because I know I played World of Tanks Blitz. I know I have finally grinded through the IS-2, which the Tech Tree IS-2 and the Premium IS-2 that I really like are very clearly different tanks. Their hull is different. Their turret is different. It's not by much, but it is different. And I like the Premium one more, so I got rid of the Tech Tree one, because I was thoroughly not enjoying the Tech Tree one. Plus, the Premium one is, it's premium, it gives extra money. But I did get through it, even though I really should have focused on the... And I've been calling them Polish, Czechoslovakian heavies. I misunderstood the flag and didn't actually stop and look all that closely, and my brain was like, yeah, it's Polish. The Polish line is the one directed below the Czechoslovakian line. Of which, they're the Polish tanks are very normal looking, but from actually looking at their top tier vehicle, I kind of want it. Purely because of the size of its gun. The tank may look normal, but it has a 152mm gun. That's pretty big. Dearest, whoever you are, whilst taking a much-needed hot bath, my mind dreamed up the most fabulous idea for a DIY recipe. I'm compelled to share my recipe, so I've stuffed it in this bottle. It would please me if you made it. Faraway wishes, Bree. Coconut juice. Wait, why is that a furniture? Why isn't that a... I'm confused. Oh, let's come see Pinky. But yeah, it's... I basically came to the conclusion while playing the IS-2 in Blitz. It's a pretty good tier 6 heavy. Too bad it's a tier 7. Smell that? That, my bestie, is yummy stuff you're smelling. Oh, do you need something? What are you making? Right now, I'm prepping some plain cupcakes. Recipes from a so-called influencer that I'm totally not jealous of. I decided to put my own spin on it. But my recipe yet? Yeah, I do. I love recipes. From the kitchen of chic chef herself, plain cupcakes, tastiest stuff ever. I mean, I kind of have to agree. There's just something appealing about a plain cupcake. I know there's probably some people that'd be like, frosting. It's like, yeah, but like, there's just something appealing about this. Just this. But, yeah, and then getting to the next tank, which is like the WZ 110, I think? I don't know. 110? It's something. Yeah, there's just so many people lobbing gold around. When I know for a fact my armor is thicker than the gun's regular shells are capable of penning at a flat angle, and my armor is effectively thicker, and that person still pens me no problem, yeah, they're just lobbing gold. Which is one thing about World of Tanks that I've always kind of disliked. I don't mind it as much on like with Blitz as I do with regular World of Tanks. Mostly just down to the other costs you're paying per battle. In Blitz, you're really not paying much per battle. It's you're paying for your repair kit. The other consumables you're running are probably free because auto fire extinguisher is pretty nice, and the med kit is basically a necessity. So, you know, the amount of people I've seen not run the med kit is honestly kind of astounding, and I applaud their guts. Too bad their gunners are probably all over the inside of their tank, and they're not loading their gun very quick anymore. Or they'll run, like, the combined module, which is the repair kit, fire extinguisher, and med kit all in one. And you basically have to burn that on your gunner going out, like your gunner getting injured, and then the next shot breaks your gun or something, and it's like, well, you're right back in the same position you were just in. Hoping to run into you. Let's chat. Just wondering if I'd run into you. Guess that means I was thinking about you. Lucky me. Unlucky me. And you say that a lot, Ed. Like, too much. He thinks about me way too often. I'm not okay with this. Oh, I came up here because I was like, oh, there's almost no way there'd be a fossil down there. And there's a couple sticks, and there's a fossil down here. I dug up a fossil! But yeah, I do kind of hope that Capcom can kind of sort out the performance issues, because I imagine I'm not the only one suffering from worse performance right now. And I almost feel like part of the issue, and it might be solved just by me relaunching the game, I don't remember if it pre-cached the shaders when I launched the game. And I feel like that's the issue, is that it didn't pre-cache the shaders, and then basically died because of that. Hey, it's me, Weber! Let's chat. The stair is perfect size, too big to see across, but too small for a sea monster to attack. That's just what you think. The sea monster just needs to find a friend. Because it is, like, it's the right size for 2 sea monsters. You just gotta get one on each side. Like one on the left, one on the right. Or the stair won't stand a chance. We haven't built a Dragonator yet. We need to get a damn Dragonator going. Monster Hunter World reference for anyone that doesn't get it. Which, you know, is what this whole city's named after. So, you know, the whole island. So, you know. I kind of like Monster Hunter. What can I say? Ah, there's a crown. There's also a Sheldon. What's up, Sheldon? Yo, touchdown. You looking for new workout clothes too? Let's talk. I told them I wanted to look ripped, and they just gave me a bunch of torn up clothing, cardio. Yeah, I can't imagine the April sisters doing that. I think you're slandering them, Sheldon, and I don't take too kindly to that. Ah, we get a nice comedian's outfit. Ah, yes, can go full comedian. Got a nice doctor's coat. You can be a bear again. I can have a very mysterious dress. It doesn't look very mysterious to me, but what do I know? I don't know dresses. I could have a mohawk. Yeah. I can be a samurai. I can be a foolish samurai warrior. I can have a virtual boy on my face. I'm sorry, I can't see VR glasses as anything other than a virtual boy. Even though, like, I want a VR headset, I still can't see it as anything other than just, like, Nah. I can't see it as anything other than just a Virtual Boy, but better. Though I say that, I loved the Virtual Boy. I was one of those weirdos. I liked the thing. Steven, what kind of clothing do you usually like? How would you describe your style? I mean, you're looking at it. Ooh, I bet I don't know. You're all about, like, a green and white checkered pattern, maybe on an apron. Babes, you're doing that thing where you think everyone's you again. I love that little exchange. I wish that, like, I had specifically, like, a checkered apron in the right color, just to be like, yeah, see, look, it's... That would be adorable. What was I even just talking about? I know I was talking about something, and now it's just gone. My brain today is not doing the best. That is really the best way I can put it, is my brain ain't doing so hot. Cilantro! How's it going, man? Hey there, Steven. Was hoping I'd see you. Let's chat. Never too late in the day to have some fun, I chew. That is very fair. Now, I do need to ask, though. Is it a poor chew? I'll stop with Tulip references. Well, I really won't. It's one of my favorite games. I'll never stop with Tulip references. It's just how I roll. Like, so I'm gonna need to. Really, game? You're gonna do that? You're gonna do me that way? Do that, then that. I really should, like, just do a series on Tulip at some point. Like, it's one of those things, if I really want to do the Tulip series, but there's ways I want to do it that I'm not confident I can. So I'm just like, I wanted the stick, not the bonfire, but, well, campfire. There we go. Let's get it turned back on. Totally safe to have around the hay beds. Like, that's completely safe. If you think it's not safe, you're the crazy one. That is what Tungulus tried to teach us, is that really we're the crazy ones. Ha 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 ha. That, how I just delivered that line is probably a little better than how it was actually delivered in the game Tungulus. No, you don't want to know. It's not a very good game. Yep, Museum already has them. Imagine that. I do want to add another thing to talking about, like, the prices when it comes to the Switch 2 and games and such. And it's more for olds like me. I feel like the price of games isn't a big deal. Like, I can distinctly remember going to the store, I think it was actually going to EB Games when I was really young. There was N64, GameCube games, PlayStation games on the shelf. And they were $80 to $90. Back then. Like, this is nothing new. Games became cheaper as time went on. Yeah. As time went on, also, the economy of the world was in a much better place. Money went further. Inflation wasn't anywhere near as bad. You know. So, like, 20 years ago, a game being $60, yeah, it kind of works. That's cheaper than it had been, you know, 25, 26 years ago. 27 even, you know. And it really depended on where you went, because a lot of, like, there was really no fixed MSRP. Like, you could go to Toys R Us and get a game for like $20, Or you could go to, like, EB Games where it might be, like, 80. You know? Because retailers set the prices. Like, they were getting them clearly a lot cheaper than, you know, games are these days. Like, the retailers. It is. It's Steven. Nice to see you here, Snorty. Let's chat. Stopped in today because I had a feeling there might be a bargain waiting for me. Just need to find it. It's very fair. So, like... And I also remember seeing, like, things about, like, game prices from even before my time. Like, we had some old, like, magazines and stuff kicking around. And, like, again, like, they'd be $80, $90 back then. Sometimes even 100, 110, 120. Nintendo World Championships famously was, like, 90 to 100, I think it was. Then you had, like, third-party companies making things like Action 52, which was almost, like, $250, I think it was. Like... I understand you youngins, $60 was the top for a while, and then companies pushed it to $70. And yeah, I don't like that games are getting expensive. I don't like it. What I'm saying is they used to be more expensive. You know, we're just getting back to those old prices. And accounting for inflation, this isn't any more than... You know... any more than games used to be. Like, it's just one of those things of, if you're not okay with the price of Nintendo's new games, or the Nintendo Switch, great, don't buy them. Vote with your wallet. I mean, I fully understand I say that knowing that I'm going to be buying them. Did I just pick up? Oh, there was a clump of weeds there. I didn't even see it. So, like, if I buy it and one of you doesn't buy it, that balances it out. But at the same time, like, that doesn't balance it out. Like, if the Switch 2 and Switch 2 games in general are failures, well, Nintendo isn't gonna keep, you know, they're not gonna keep that up. They're going to lower price. They might even drop the Switch 2 like they did the Wii U. Kinda hoping they don't, because I really like the Switch. I really like the idea of the Switch 2. I really feel like their naming of it is not very good. But maybe this is Nintendo finally entering, you know, their PlayStation 2 era. You know, putting the number there. I'm not the biggest fan of them doing it. I don't think it's gonna work out terribly well for them, but... Especially where they've tried this before. Hey, Steven, I was just thinking about how I wanted to see you. Let's chat. The best tasting island is Astera. Everything tastes great. Everything! I'll get on a KK concert later. I just want to fish. I was thinking I maybe want to go do some Paradise Planning, but I just kind of want to fish. I might do Paradise Planning off screen, and if there's just any dialogue that happens, it just won't be on screen. I don't know. Like, I really want to get it done, but I'm just not feeling very creative lately, so, like, it just doesn't seem like the best idea for me to be doing it. That's just me. But yeah, like, I feel like that's something that people miss, is that you can just not buy a Switch 2. If it is too much money and you don't like that, then don't buy it. Like, and if the thought in your head is, but I'll be missing out on all these brand new games, it's like, full body types. That's just a morph suit. Got it. Like, that's kind of part of the problem, isn't it? Like, you're so fixated on these new games. Have you played all the great old games yet? You know, if that's a thought that you're having, then I need to ask, like, well, okay, have you played, let's say, even just all of the Zelda games? This will be a bit of a controversial take, but have you played Zelda 2? It's a pretty good game. It's not a great Zelda game, but it's a pretty good game. You know, have you played, I don't know, this is just digging through my personal favorites, like, have you played the Katamari games? If you haven't, you should give them a go. They're pretty good, fun games. You know, have you played, let's see, Earth Defense Force? A good series of games. Start from the beginning if you really want to. Plenty of games there. None of them are on the latest gen console, you know. Well, I mean, some of them are. But you get what I mean. Like, the older games aren't. You always play Tulip. Have a real blast with it. If you really want to not use a guide, good luck. You'll probably never figure it out on your own, just because of how convoluted the game is. But hey, it's there. It's a pretty solid game. Let's see, there's all the old Mario games. Play some of those. Mega Man. Play the Mega Mans. Sonic games, those are pretty good. If you're a fan of RPGs, it's all the old Final Fantasies, like... And there's the Breath of Fire games, those are pretty good. Golden Sun. Like more tactics style games. I mean, you could start with Final Fantasy Tactics, but there's Fire Emblem, there's Ogre Battle, Wrath of the Black Queen, Ogre Battle 64. Like, all of these games. There are tons of games. Like, you don't need to be playing the latest, greatest game to be enjoying gaming. I feel like that's something that a lot of gamers have kind of just missed. Like, heck, go back and play the original Animal Crossing. I'm going to at some point. Might be next year. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to decide. I believe I've mentioned this before, but come the end of the year, I'm going to be putting, near the end of the year anyway, I want to give myself time to prepare. But like probably November-ish, I'll be putting up a poll in the community tab, basically asking, you know, hey, what Animal Crossing should I play next? That is assuming a new Animal Crossing does not get announced and released between now and then. If a new one comes out, I will probably do the new one, but that's because I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, and I probably should be chasing the latest, greatest, because that's what the masses want for some reason. Like, and even then, a lot of the times they don't tend to want it. I know, there's some games that have come out where people were definitely hyped for them, and then the hype died really fast. One I'm thinking of in particular was Splatoon 3, which really hurts to say. And like, with how hard the hype died on that, I'm almost, like, I don't want to get doom and gloom about it, but I almost don't think there will be a Splatoon 4. They did kind of end it on a really big grand note so that they could plausibly go, yeah, we're done. So, you know, I'm not getting my hopes up there will be a Splatoon 4. And like, I feel like a lot of the issues with Splatoon 3 were more just the execution more than anything else. Like, they gave us a lot of things that fans have been asking for quite a while. The problem is the game didn't feel even close to finished when it came out. And like, what I mean by that is like, when going from Splatoon, the original Splatoon to Splatoon 2, not only did we have multiple new weapon types in the base game, but there was also more weapons at the start of Splatoon 2 than there was in the original Splatoon. Splatoon 3, there were fewer weapons at the beginning of that game's release than Splatoon 2. There was, I think, actually the same number as the original Splatoon had, which did really hurt people's enthusiasm for the game, because it's like, well, there's so few weapons, there's so little variety. And of those weapons, the variety in them was non-existent. Like, if you wanted to play a regular splatter shot, you had one option. The splatter shot. You wanted to play a splatter shot pro, you had one option. The splatter shot pro. You know, there wasn't any kit variants. There was, if you wanted to play this weapon, you played the default kit because that's all there was. It didn't feel ready. Pair that with their almost endless kind of season battle pass thing that at the very least seems to cycle around, so you never really miss anything. But you also still have to go through the whole grind every time to get anything you may have missed. So it's like, don't like that very much. And like, I still like the game myself. It's just like, it doesn't feel as good as Splatoon 2 did. Which is a real shame, because like, Splatoon 2 was a bit of a disappointment. And I feel like a fair few Splatoon fans would agree on that one. 2 was a bit of a disappointment. Like, they took the just chaotic, messy, fun battles from the first Splatoon and toned everything down by heavily nerfing everybody's specials. And then being really hesitant to give us anything remotely close to what we had before. And like, a lot of the fun of the original Splatoon was the specials. Like, walking up to where you know is a narrow alleyway and dropping your killer whale and like just watching the enemy team scramble to get out of that alleyway. Like, that was great. You'd probably splat 2 or 3 people as they were failing to get out of the alleyway. Like, it was only doable on some maps, but it's kind of the fun of it. Like, some things could only be done on some maps. Some things were better on some maps, and then Splatoon 2 happened, and a lot of the specials were just kind of, No one can ever successfully convince me that ink armor is good, because ink armor is not remotely close to as good as the bubbler was. Ink armor is a good ink refill. That's about it. Thankfully, they got rid of ink armor, but what they replaced it with is also a just far cry from what the bubbler used to be. Like, they're still very hesitant to give us back the old specials as they were. Which kind of sucks. Even more so where the argument tends to be, oh, these are upgrades. It's like, no, they're not. Big Bubbler is not an upgrade over the old Bubbler. To explain, so people can understand, anyone who hasn't played Splatoon. In the original game, the Bubbler was a special you activated that basically put an invulnerability shield around you and any nearby teammates for up to, I think it was like 2 seconds. It may not sound like a huge amount of time, but that's a lot of time. It actually might have been longer than that. I don't fully remember. My brain says it was longer than that. 2 seconds might have been the base, and I think you could push it up to like 3.7. I don't know. I don't remember for sure. Then you get Splatoon 2 with ink armor. Ink armor gave you and your entire team roughly 30 extra hit points. That's it. Yeah, that's nowhere near as good as the invulnerability shield, especially where those temporary hit points are temporary. They go away. It's like 5-6 seconds, and they go away. It's not very good. Splatoon 3, they gave us the Big Bubbler. which is a big deployable shield that enemies can pass through, but their shots cannot. Which, you know, your shots can pass through it, you can pass through it too. The problem is it's deployable. It's not something that comes with you. It's a defensive special, not an offensive special. Like, the original bubbler was for making your push with. The big bubbler is for defending from the enemy team's push. Like, they're on two complete opposite sides of the spectrum. And I kind of honestly wish we would just have both, because both would be pretty cool to have. Not gonna lie, I wish we just had every old special. I also wish they'd bring back every old weapon. I want my dual squelcher back. But, you know, I'm just completely rambling about Splatoon now. It's just what I do, I guess. I just get rambling. Rambling. I'm a real Xavier. Just rambling on. If anyone doesn't get that, it's fine. Old animated show. Very weird. Xavier Renegade Angel is the kind of show that would just simply not get made today. Not only because of the kinds of, like, language it used or, like, the subject matter it covered. Just simply because the show was made to, like, it's the kind of thing you would expect out of, like, a YouTube series made in Gmod kind of thing. That's what it was kind of made to look like before those even existed. It was made to look kind of bad and nonsensical and reuse assets and models and, you know, it's wild. If you just want a show to just turn your brain off to, it's not a bad one. And air, water, make up your mind. You just need fire in there. No, then nothing would be fine. That's another show that if, like, anyone watching this, I don't care how old you are. You could be really old, really young, I don't care. If you've not watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, correct that. It's a really good show. I say this with also the asterisk of, while there are some episodes that are kind of painful to watch, they're not, you know, they're very cheesy, they're very, I don't know about this. By the time you finish the show, you will understand why those episodes were the way they were. And you'll also probably understand how they fit into the grand scheme of things. With one exception, and I'll just give the episode title so people watching can know. There's one episode that doesn't play much of a role in the development of the story, but it's also near the end. And that's, wait, is it Ember Island Players? It might not be Ember Island Players. I'm pretty sure it's Ember Island Players, though. Totally not Googling that right now, just to... no, it is Ember Island Players. Pretty late in the show, so, like... It's not a bad episode, but it does, like... It's a great episode for a 3-series long story. Because without spoiling anything, it's kind of a recap episode, but also kind of not. So, like, it's really cool. I don't want to spoil anything, because if people watching this haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, I feel like they need to experience it for themselves. So I don't want to spoil it. And it's not that it's a weak episode. No, it's a good episode. But, you know. And I know I'm even that type of person that if I was watching me saying this, I'd be like, just say it. Like, I don't want to go through all the effort. But that's because a lot of the shows people go gaga over, I don't see the appeal of. When it comes to Avatar, I can see the appeal of it, so I probably actually wouldn't in this specific instance, but, you know, the idea of that. I've seen so many people be like, oh man, Breaking Bad, I don't want to spoil bits of Breaking Bad. It's like, I'm never going to watch that show, I don't care. It's like, but it's so good. It's like, but I don't care. It doesn't look good to me. It looks boring. Like, everything I've learned about it, it doesn't appeal to me. And this is even after having watched Mythbusters, and they did a collab with Breaking Bad where they covered some scenes from the show and then things that happened, and it's like, yeah, I still don't care. Kind of noticed that, though. I feel like a big part of the issue there is it's live action. There are some live action shows I like, but not many, and honestly the only one that springs to mind immediately is MASH, and that show is older than I am. I tend to mostly like animated shows, and I feel like it's just simply because characters are more expressive. Like, I'm trying to now think, live action shows. I mean, I liked iCarly. So yeah, I can throw iCarly in there. I haven't watched that in forever, though. Don't know if it holds up. Honestly, don't know if I ever will rewatch that show, knowing the producer that was involved in its history. It's not a... I don't know. I say that, though. I don't like judging an entire project based off of one person. I'm also very much not the type of person to know actors, so... think of it in a carfish. It's like, if you're ever like, oh yeah, did you see this? It has this actor in it. Don't bother telling me the actor. I don't know actors. I don't know celebrities. There's very few I know of. And one of them is dead. So, you know, at least one of them. That's how little I keep up with celebrities. You know, Robin Williams has passed away. But, like, that's... you know, that's all I really know. I know Robin Williams. One of the main reasons I know Robin Williams, if I had just watched the movies he was in, I probably wouldn't know his name. I watched his stand-up routines. That's how I know who his name is. You know. I know George Carlin, so that's two of them that are dead. George Carlin was kind of a celebrity. He's dead. Let's see. Can I think of anything? Wait. What did I just get? Oh. Angling for perfection. I have fished 500 times. We're a moderate beach bum. That is what I aim to be. Moderate beach bum. It's definitely better than being an extremist beach bum. It's nice sitting in the middle. You get to hear both sides and disagree with both. And come to, you know, the solution that probably more people will actually be happy with. The problem then comes when, like, oh, there was a tarantula there. Yeah, I'm gonna be resetting spawns now. Thank you for still being open, Able Sisters. Hey, just resetting spawns. I'm almost tempted to still take the long way back around. You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go up and over. This is totally to check for fish. It's totally not to avoid potential tarantula. Watch me run into one this way, too. Become trapped. Like, another show that, like, I've heard people go gaga over, and they're like, no, I can't tell you things about it because you'll spoil it. It's, Game of Thrones. I'm like, I don't care. I'm never gonna watch that show. And, like, at that point, I'm sure some people knowing how, like, fantasy would be like, oh, but it's a fantasy show. It's like, yeah, but if I really want to watch live-action fantasy, how about I just watch Lord of the Rings? I'm almost positive it's better without even having seen Game of Thrones. The reason I can say that with pretty heavy certainty is just how heavily influenced Martin was by Tolkien. And he's made it pretty clear that Tolkien had a pretty big impact on him, even though he's constantly going on about all these things that Tolkien did that he didn't like. It's like, okay. And most of those things are things that I did like about Lord of the Rings. So that right there kind of tells me I'm probably not going to like his books or TV show. I think of like, oh, you gotta have characters die. It's like, yeah, and Tolkien did. Tolkien had characters die when it meant something. Like, a character dies in Lord of the Rings when it means something. They don't just, characters aren't just killed off for no reason. And I've kind of heard that kind of happens in Game of Thrones. Scalpel, forceps, fishhook. Like, and I'm just going off hearsay there, because again, I haven't seen the show. I have no interest in watching that show. Ever. Like... And maybe I'm doing a disservice to myself by not watching it. But, like, I'd rather... The way I go about things, and the way I look at, like, media... is I will play a bad video game, but I will not watch a TV show or movie that I know I'm not gonna like. And if I do start watching one that I think I will like, and it ends up being not very good, I just turn it off. And the main reason for that is I don't want to get into filmmaking. I don't want to get into show running. Wait, I have things I can donate. I can't sell things yet. I'll be back, boys. I almost sold donatables. I do want to make games. And bad games can teach me things about game development. A bad show, the most it could teach me about... I heard the shooting star. The most it could teach me about is writing. But so can a bad game. And, like, usually with a bad game, you can still create your own enjoyment. A bad show, you can't. You have no agency. I feel like it's also why I just prefer video games to TV. Is you have no agency when it comes to the TV. Things just happen, whether you like it or not. Wait, live action shows I do like. Star Trek. There we go. The Star Trek shows. Like, the first 4. I'm not the biggest fan of the original series. So... Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine... I don't know how I feel about Enterprise. My feelings about Enterprise change. It's a good concept. It has good scenes. The ending, though, the finale, ruins it. Like... And anything Star Trek and kind of modern, I have either negative or no opinion on. Like, Discovery, good old STD, treat it like one. Avoid it. Picard, no. Didn't need to exist. I fully understand it's Paramount wanting to reuse the most popular cast. Like, it's them wanting the old crew back together to, you know, try to bring those old viewers back because modern TV doesn't get the views it used to. Like, Simon Slayer listening? He is. Oop, on my headphones. Hey, KK. Well, now, this is my #1 fan. Swing on by for another song tonight. Let's hear it. Cool. Any requests? Dial up an old favorite, you can just tell me how you're feeling and I'll groove on it. I'm in a mood. A little blue, honestly. I'll have a seat next to Simon. Hey, man. KK Lament style. But yeah, like, I can think of multiple bad games I've played where it's just like, I could still squeak some fun out of it by making fun of the game, if nothing else. Meanwhile, like, the Monster Hunter movie. So bad. Please, no one ever watch that. It doesn't exist. What movie? Like, that should be the response. Like, it's not good. The live action one, I should say. There is an animated movie, though even that one wasn't very good. Like, it wasn't terrible, but wasn't the best. The frame rate of the movie was not very good. The story felt really rushed. Neat ideas, but it almost kind of felt like a role play that got turned into a movie. You know. But yeah. I also do want to say, like, I'm not opposed to, like, suggestions on, like, TV shows and stuff to watch or things like that. Just fully expect if I don't think it's gonna look good, I'm probably gonna tell you that. Like, you know, and don't get offended. It's just how I am. I want you to know I'm very likely not going to watch the thing you're suggesting I watch because I don't think it looks very good. You know. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'll check that out totally. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Because then you know, whoever asked will probably come back and be like, hey, did you watch that? And it's like, nah, I haven't watched it yet. You know. I also apologize, though, again, don't take it personally if I don't like a show you like. But I do apologize if one of the shows I made mention of, you know, like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, if like either of those shows are like a favorite of anyone watching, like, don't take it personally. I don't like Rick and Morty either. Don't like Family Guy. Don't much care for The Simpsons. I haven't watched much Simpsons, but like, haven't much cared for what I have watched. Right on, man. Why don't you give your pockets a glance? Slipped you a boo to the show. That was like unreal. Thanks for tuning your dial in my direction. You're welcome, man. Let's come pop this in our radio. It's like 2 weeks in a row we've gotten kind of a sad song, but Gulliver up there, seeing the future. But yeah, like, I feel like I've rambled enough today. We're going on like 55 minutes. So let's come back and just listen to KK, and I'll stop rambling for now. We'll just hop in a seat here, and with that, I thank you all very much for listening to my depression rambles for almost an hour. And hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow as we buy some more turnips, and hopefully if I get an amazing price, I actually realize in time to open my island next week. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. See you then. And now in this end card, I'd like to ask, if you liked the video, could you maybe hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? Trying to reach 700 subs, and you could help out a lot. Thanks a bunch.